Chanting Buddhist monks, Brahmin priests, two cultures which together create what we Westerners refer to as the mystic East. Two cultures joined in the person of a king whom his people call the soul of their nation. His Majesty King Bhumibol Adulyadej performs the naming ceremony for his first grandchild 1 month after the baby's birthday. This is the first baby to be born in the Thai royal family for over 21 years. Her Majesty Queen Sirikit. In this ceremony, both Buddhist and Brahmin ritual are intertwined. His Majesty King Bhumibol Adulyadej. All Thai names have meanings. The king's name means strength of the land, incomparable power. King Bhumibol, ninth sovereign of the Chakri dynasty, founded in 1782. He is 52 years old and has reigned in Thailand, Siam, for 33 years. Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, her name means the glory of her family. Queen Sirikit is 47 years old. She has been Queen of Thailand for 29 years. Their oldest son, His Royal Highness the Crown Prince Vajiralongkorn, was born in 1952. His name means decorated with lightning. His wife, Her Royal Highness Princess Swamswali, was born in London in 1957. Her Royal Highness Princess Sirindhorn was born in 1955. Sirindhorn means glorious. Her Royal Highness Princess Chulabhorn was born in 1957. Her name comes from that of her great-grandfather, King Chulalongkorn. The propitious moment arrives, decided upon by the court astrologers in accordance with ancient Brahmin practice. It is signaled by the sonorous sound of a conch shell. The first rite performed by the king in this naming ceremony of the latest member of the Chakri dynasty is the symbolic cutting of a lock of hair. This is seen as a means of blessing, getting rid of the old hair at birth, ready for the new growth. In the old days, the head was shaved. The pouring of a few drops of lustral water on the baby's head is not, of course, a baptism, but it is a token of purification. The water was blessed by Buddhist monks in an earlier ceremony. The leaf the king is placing on the child's breast is taken from a very old tree, usually teak. It symbolizes longevity and carries wishes for a long, happy and fruitful life. More lustral water gently poured on the baby's head. She will be called Her Royal Highness Princess Pachira Kitiyapa, which means bright as a diamond. The tying of threads round the wrist will, it is believed, contain the guardian spirit. It symbolizes friendship and love and is a protective gesture to ward off evil. But the question is, will this royal child enjoy long life? Will the evil be warded off? Can this monarchy, the soul of this nation, survive? This is one of the last places where we can still see kingship in action. One of the last places where we can still see something of what the Victorian travellers meant by the mystic East. The present Prime Minister, General Kriyansak Chomenon, waves on the good spirits to the royal grandchild on behalf of the Thai nation. What is this nation? What are its good spirits? Neither may be here much longer. Thailand is a constitutional monarchy on the lines with the British monarchy. Trooping the colour takes place in December on the sovereign's birthday. The ceremony is an almost exact replica of the British one. The same colours, the same drawn swords, the same brass band and bugles. Yet 6,000 miles away in the tropics, Thailand is a country that was never conquered by the British. But when this ceremony was introduced into Thailand by King Wachirawut, who was educated at Sandhurst and Oxford, served in the Durham Light Infantry, and became an honorary general in the British Army, the British king was also a Far Eastern king. In fact, he was the King Emperor of India. That all came to an end in 1947, and over the next 30 years the other kings of Southeast Asia have gone. First, the Emperor Barudai gave way to the Republic of Vietnam soon after the Second World War. In 1970, Prince Sihanouk of Cambodia was deposed. In 1975, King Sawung Watana of Laos abdicated, and the King of Thailand is the only monarch left in Southeast Asia. In the 60s and early 70s, the West welcomed the abolition of monarchy as part of the People's March of Freedom. Now the monarchies are gone, but is what has come in their place any better? Listen to the proper name of the city we call Bangkok.
กรุงเทพมหานครบวรรัตนโกสินทร์มหินทรอยุธยามหาดิลกภพนพรัตนราชธานีบุรีรมย์อุดมราชนิเวศมหาสถานอมรพิมานอวตารสถิตสักกทัตติยวิษณุกรรมประสิทธิ์
It is the longest place name in the world, which translates into English, Great City of Angels, Supreme Repository for the Divine Jewels, Great Land Unconquerable, Grand and Prominent Realm, Royal and Delightful Capital City, full of the 9 noble gems, highest royal dwelling and grand palace, divine shelter and living place of the reincarnated spirits. Great City of Angels, Supreme Repository for the Divine Jewels, mystic East pinnacle glitter. Fairy tale fantastical child myths whirled round our heads in profusion like genies whooshed out of bottles. We come and gawp at you. Great land unconquerable, while the world's magic countries, which once sprouted stories for children to plunge their faces in like mouths into peaches, are one by one flattened to the mindless dust of political slogans, tank track crushed by huge grey pamphlets. Here you proclaim yourself, however illogically, however rashly, great land unconquerable, grand prominent realm, royal and delightful capital city, full of the 9 noble gems, not only that sparkling riverbed litter dropped by the ages, ruby, diamond, emerald, topaz, garnet, sapphire, but the 9 gems of blessing, purity, wisdom, and peace. Highest royal dwelling and grand palace, where one of the last of the world's kings, consecrated, set aside by anointment, set aside to lead a people by serving them, continues to reign. Divine shelter and living place of the reincarnated spirits, where the past is alive in the present is a part of the past, and where both present and past welcome the angels. Will all this soon be smashed to rubble? Will the purity, wisdom, and peace be trampled out of existence by communist slogan shouters who murder not only anyone who does not agree with them, but also anyone who possesses brains or talent to excite their envy? It has happened in Cambodia, where it may be that as much as half of the population has been murdered. It has happened to Laos, and now the Russian-backed Vietnamese army has invaded Cambodia. Is the mindless dust of the political slogans about to sweep Thailand into a rapidly forgotten, legendary past? In Bangkok, the capital city, on a day of celebration, King Bhumibol makes his way to Thailand's central Buddhist shrine, the Temple of the Emerald Buddha. But here in Bangkok itself, unseen and forgotten by these happy people, there are communist cells in full operation. Unnoticed by the West, Thailand has been fighting communist insurgents for 14 years. And almost every day, there's some kind of engagement and some casualties. All this is in great danger. King Bhumibol is surrounded with such love that even the communists do not dare to speak ill of him in their broadcasts. But what can he do? How does he see his function as the last king left in Southeast Asia? The study in his palace looks and sounds like a command post. Here he talks to David Lomax about his job as king.
How do you see your duty as a king? Why do you think that Thailand should continue to have a king?
It's not for me to say. I do things that I think is useful, and that's all.
But are you conscious as King of Thailand yourself of being able to do something which you feel wouldn't be possible without a monarchy here?
Well, I don't know what can be defined as king. That is the big trouble, because in my position is called, I am called a king. But my duties, if you have noticed, is not the duty of a king. It's something that is quite different or difficult to define. I do things I think that will be useful, and that is all. If you ask me what I had in mind, what the plan I had no plan. Just like I'm today, we are going to have something and we are going to do it. We don't know what the something is, but we are going to do something that is good. That is the the plan or the spirit.
The king sees his main job as being with the rural poor, 85% of the Thai population. With his family, he works extremely hard on the solving of local living problems, constantly visiting the villages, listening to the villagers, and then, with his own money, starting projects in health, food production, irrigation, or education for villagers to run themselves. The royal family spend roughly 8 months of the year in this way, and there is no doubt that it is their presence in places like this which is Thailand's best defense against communist takeover.
ยังจะได้ลูกเด้จับหลานจับค่าอีกคนจับนี่ล่ะก็มันคือค่าสารกันในโลกเคนนางเคนแม่เคนบ้านกลางขี้อ้นนะครับว่าเมื่อนามจะกุลในนกนอนนามจะกุลนามจะกุลหมอลาโพ
She want to have her photograph taken with the royal family and printed in newspaper. And please send her newspaper because she don't have money to buy it. She's so excited at meeting with the king. 7 children. 7 children and one of them is a soldier guarding the king.
Anywhere we go, we are looked at, and people are interested in us. They look at us, they don't want to bother us. They want to know more how they eat, how they sit, how they walk. They don't look with curiosity or hostility because they are very happy. You must know that they are well-wishing. They are well-wishing and they are on, say, intimate terms with us. It's like a big family. These people are looking at us because they like us and we like them, we love them, they love us. So it doesn't make any, it is no pressure.
Kings and queens of Thailand have always been in close contact with the people, really, and they usually regard the kings as father of nation. That's why usually we don't have much private life because we are considered father and mother of the nation. So naturally we are all the time with the people.
Among the uneducated rural poor, the king is a highly effective agent for change, precisely because of his popularity as king. King Bhumibol's full title is Great Strength of the Land, Incomparable Power, Most Renowned of the Mahidun family of the Rama lineage of the Chakri line, Great Refuge of the People, Great King of Siam, the Chief Protector. To the king, Thailand's danger means that state ceremonial is no empty form. Speeches at the royal audience for his birthday, no mere platitudes, but expression of the struggle for survival.
ข้าพระพุทธเจ้าทั้งหลายทราบแก่ใจอยู่โดยตระหนักชัดว่าการที่ประชาราษฎรไทยตลอด
Having praised the king's compassion and impartiality, the Crown Prince calls upon him blessings from Buddha and from the country's protective gods and spirits.
พรหมวิหารธรรมสำหรับผู้เป็นใหญ่ในแผ่นดินอันแรกแก่ความเมตตารักใคร่ปรารถนาให้ประชาราษฎรเป็นสุขคนไทยรักษาชาติรักษาแผ่นดินเป็นปึกแผ่นมั่นคงมา
The king's reply praises past generations for their consciousness of Thai nationhood and reminds the present generation that, as well as using their intelligence and practicing the virtues, they must preserve the spirit of being Thai for the generations to come, so that Thailand can remain forever independent. He ends by calling upon his audience of the country's leaders the triple blessing of Buddha and that of all the holy powers. All this time, the war with the communists gets worse. There are communist insurgents on all Thailand's borders, Burma and Malaysia, as well as with communist Laos and Cambodia. The Thai government will not release casualty figures, treating this as secret information. But the most recent figures obtainable date from 1977, when it seems that about 600 government troops were killed, though the insurgents' radio claimed 6 times that number. All we know is that the war has got worse since then. There are probably about 10,000 communist guerrillas in Thailand. Parts of Thai territory are now totally controlled by the insurgents. Now Vietnam has invaded Cambodia and could very easily invade Thailand. They have 10 divisions on the Thai border. Altogether, their army has 600,000 well-trained soldiers, 1,450 tanks, and 1,300 combat aircraft. Against this, Thailand has 141,000 troops, 150 light tanks, and 149 aircraft. The king is acutely aware of Thailand's danger.
The first thing is security. That is the security of the people. The Thai people have to fight for their freedom, for their independence. So the main thing is to be a good general. And then after that, when a country is more settled, it's to have law and order, law and administration. And after that, we must have, or at the same time, we must have enough food to eat, enough facility to have a good home, to have shelter and all that. These are essential things. And then we must have the social order and more things of the heart. That means that we must be good people, so that there would be disorder, because people who are good don't create trouble so much. So we must have religion. So the king is the leader of the religion also.
The king has always looked for ways to adapt state ceremonial to the immediate needs of the country. On the coronation anniversary in May, in front of a display of the regalia, the king presents medals to members of the armed forces for gallantry against the communist insurgents. As the guns fire a salute to their majesties, the king uses the occasion to glorify the role of the soldier as defender of the nation's integrity. The first to receive an award is General Prem, the commander-in-chief of the army, but most other recipients are in the ranks. The Crown Prince is a serving officer. The king personally invests all generals and presents each graduating cadet with his sword. He created this ceremony himself as a way of raising the troops' morale. The white uniforms are the normal requirement for attendance at court, but if you cannot afford a new white uniform, there's no disgrace in attending without one. The king gives medals for gallantry to brave and loyal soldiers, but meanwhile the communists are kidnapping Thai villagers, up to 500 a month, and forcibly re-educating them. These medals are a reminder that the country is in a state of war. The Thai army is part of the consciousness of the country, rather as the Royal Navy used to be part of the consciousness of Britain. The army was responsible for changing the monarchy from an absolute to a constitutional one in 1932, when a group of army officers, in conjunction with a few intellectuals educated in Paris, led by a certain Pridi, organized a bloodless coup. Since then, for most of the time, Thailand has been under military government. Changes of government have happened with great frequency, usually as a result of bloodless coups, the coups sometimes being led by corporals who are themselves ousted as soon as they become generals. The Parliament building. Thailand has only had parliamentary democracy, as we understand it, for the 3 years from 1973 to 1976. With 55 parties, the system proved impossible to run, and another military coup ended it. General Kriansak took over in 1977 from a more right-wing military government. In May 1979, the first elections were held since 1976. But Kriansak did not himself submit to election. The Prime Minister is chosen by the National Policy Council, which is firmly in the control of the military. In effect, the Senate is appointed by him, so in the elected lower house, he only needs a third of the votes in order to have an overall majority in both houses. It is by no means full parliamentary democracy. In a situation like this, the King's opening of Parliament could only be formal. His speech was no more than a brief appeal to the elected and appointed members to work together amicably and to carry out their mission with vigor, fairness and pureness of heart. It may well have been felt that the Buddhist blessing with which his speech concluded was very much needed as the king left and the jockeying for power began. The whole ceremony only lasted 15 minutes. Can Thailand survive? Is its carefree, relaxed independence about to become a thing of the past? The Thais see their survival as intimately connected with the survival of the monarchy. Kukrit Pramo, Prime Minister in 1976, during the brief period of parliamentary democracy, sums up the monarchy's huge significance.
The monarchy, I would say, is the soul of the Thai nation. The king is more than a ceremonial head. Thais are very clannish. First of all, he is the head of the clan. He is the father of a very big family of Thais, consisting of 45 million people. And he is the source of Thai culture. Everything emanates from him. Good manners, way of living, the sort of thoughts and the way of thinking which is regarded as the best of Thai thinking. Even the Buddhist religion, to us, seems to emanate from the king and the monarchy.